And the news bites for Wednesday, February 28, 2024. PNP caretaker endorses lottery scamming. 3 murdered, 4 injured at bar in Westmoreland. Mother charged with murder after throwing 5-month-old daughter from 3-story building. People with disabilities to be included in farm work program. PNP caretaker for Northern Trelawney, Dennis Meadows, has publicly endorsed the illegal practice of scamming. Speaking recently to PNP supporters in Northern Trelawney, Mr. Meadows said there's nothing wrong with chopping, and that is the term for scamming made popular by criminals and those in the music industry.
And I speak to the youth man them for the corner, you know. Especially one who call themselves chopper. Let me tell you straight up, and me can speak openly. I have no problem with a man if he want chop. Because them chop us during slavery, so nothing wrong if we chop them back.
Mr. Meadows said his only demand is that those involved in scamming do not squander their ill-gotten gains. In a statement issued Wednesday afternoon, Meadows withdrew his endorsement of scamming. In the statement, he said the comments made do not reflect his true stance on criminal activities, particularly lottery scamming. He said he unequivocally withdraw his remarks and wants to make it clear that he condemns any form of fraud and criminal behavior generally. He added that it was a thoughtless and unwise response to the quantity of money that was being corruptly spent in the Trelawney campaign by their opponents. He said he is fully committed to upholding the law and collaborating with law enforcement authorities to prevent crime in all its manifestations. 7 people were shot, 3 fatally, at a bar in Frome, Westmoreland, Wednesday morning. The deceased have been identified as shop owner Everell Rowe of Frome, Kamar Smith, otherwise called Beanie, and Andre MacDonald, both of Gully Banks, Savannah Lamar in the parish. Reports from the police are that all 7 victims were patrons at Pixie Dust Bar. While there, a white Toyota Axia motor car allegedly drove up and stopped. 2 men reportedly later alighted from the vehicle armed with handguns and opened gunfire in the direction of the patrons, who scampered in different directions. When the shooting subsided, Rowe was seen outside on the ground with gunshot wounds to the upper body. Smith was also found with gunshot wounds to the upper body, while MacDonald was found with gunshot wounds to the head and upper body. Both Smith and MacDonald were found inside the bar. A female victim later discovered that she received a gunshot wound to the left thigh and a graze to her right side. Another injured man got shot in his right arm, while another received shots to his neck and abdomen. All 7 victims were transported to hospital for treatment. MacDonald and Smith were pronounced dead on arrival, while Rowe succumbed to his injuries while undergoing treatment. The St. James police have charged the mother who allegedly threw her 5-month-old daughter to her death from a 3-story building in Barrett Town in the parish in December. 27-year-old Shamoya Green of Barrett Hall, Lilliput, St. James, is charged with the murder of 5-month-old Destiny Brown at their home on December 6, 2023. It is reported that about 5:35 p.m., Green was at home with her common-law husband and other family members when she tried to have a conversation about their relationship with him. However, he deferred the talks till later that evening. Green reportedly became enraged and left the room, taking the baby with her. She took Destiny to the roof of the 3rd floor of the building and threw her onto the concrete pit in the yard. The police were alerted and Destiny was taken to the hospital, where she died while being treated. Green was charged on Saturday after she was interviewed in the presence of her attorney. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, is trying to determine the circumstances which led to the death of a detainee at the Ocho Lockup in St. Anne. Andre Miller, a cabinet maker of Breadnut Hill, died in hospital on Monday, 4 days after he was found unresponsive in his cell at the lockup. Mr. Miller, who was mentally ill, was taken into custody on assault charges. It is understood that the police found him in his cell unresponsive and bleeding from the nostrils. An autopsy will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Detectives from the Narcotics Division in St. James are investigating the seizure of cocaine worth 7.4 million Jamaican dollars on Monday at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. A British woman was taken into custody in connection with the seizure. Reports from the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit are that lawmen were conducting operations at the airport when the woman was accosted. She was in the process of checking in for a flight to London, England. After a preliminary interview, the police searched her luggage, which revealed 1.6 kilograms of cocaine concealed in Jamaican craft items. The estimated street value of the drug in the UK is £38,000. The woman was placed on reasonable suspicion for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. Her name is currently being withheld as investigations continue. And on a lighter note, the Ministry of Labor is seeking to integrate more people with disabilities into farm work and other overseas employment programs. Minister of Labor and Social Security, Pernell Charles Jr., announced on Tuesday that 2 such individuals have already been recruited and are making preparations to depart the island. He was speaking at the closing ceremony for the Strategic Engagement of Rural Women with Disabilities in Sustainable Farming Techniques project at the Abilities Foundation in St. Andrew. The $5.7 million project, executed by the Abilities Foundation and Canada Fund for Local Initiatives, trained 50 women in climate-smart technologies, advocacy skills, and business development, among other areas. Charles said the increased opportunities that will be open to persons with disabilities will redound to the benefit of the country as a whole.